India, the USA, Great Britain, the Netherlands, Venezuela. People from these and many other countries of the world live with us side by side. They are working, starting families, growing up children and simply enjoying life in Kazakhstan. In our program Connecting Cultures, we share their stories that had occurred before they came to Kazakhstan and after they arrived here. From them, we will learn how the experience of staying in our country has changed their destinies. Our program follows the life of foreigners in our country. This is true stories told by representatives of many nations living and developing in Kazakhstan, and for whom our country has become home. 3 things make a man happy: love, work, and opportunity to travel. Our today's hero, Dr. Zhang Xiaotian, has visited over 80 countries in his life. Having gained an unbelievable international experience, he calls himself a global citizen. Currently, he holds a position of Vice Rector on Scientific Research at the University of International Business in Almaty. Our today's hero was born in the county of Changchun, China. Zhang Xiaotian always knew that education is one of the most important things in life. Thus, he always did well in school and set himself great goals.
What really amazed me of the Kazakhstan education is that all the universities here are enhancing their internationalization process. They're working very hard on it. Second is that government is doing a great job. They're providing a lot of support for the students, for the staffs, and for universities to develop further. And third is that what really amazed me is that this nation is very young. You have a lot of young people here. They are very talented and gifted, and those people are going to be the future of this nation.
Dr. Xiaotian, thank you so much for joining us today. And the first question will be about your hometown and about your family.
I grew up in a very typical Chinese family. I had a very happy childhood. My parents are both working in the government. My father is a vice president of the city, and my mother is also work for the transportation department of the government, and later she became a businesswoman. I think I was kind of a very naughty kid. I was always hang out with my friends and play in the field. Back to that time, China is not so developed as it is now. We have plenty of nature there. You know, we play along the river, in the field. You know, trying to find the watermelons and fishing, catching crabs and shrimps, and all of these kind of activities. Actually, I enjoyed very much. And later on, I was really amazed by Michael Jordan because my grandfather is a big fan of basketball, and my father is a big fan of basketball, and of course, naturally, I'm a big fan of basketball. So I had this kind of dream to play for NBA, National Basketball Association in the States. So I started to play basketball very hard, and every day I was dreaming to become a basketball player. But then later on, I realized I stopped growing taller, so I have to switch this kind of dream, make it to become a hobby. And then I started to think about it, and once my father took me to Shanghai, and I was really shocked by this modern architecture. Hundreds of skyscrapers, and I was really amazed, and I decided to become an architect. Getting to the good university in China is very challenging, and we have millions of students, and we only have 3,000 universities in China. I was always among the top students, so I was a top 60 among 200,000 in the region, and I went to the best middle school, best high school. My goal was to get to the Tongji University in Shanghai, the best place to study architecture in China, but I couldn't. So I went to another university to study the civil engineering. And I realized that is not what I like to do, so I decided to go abroad. So my parents first sent me to Lyon, to France, and because my aunt is there, and it's also a nice place to study. But somehow I don't like French language, unfortunately. Then I was thinking to go for another kind of non-English-speaking country and to learn a second foreign language. So my grandfather recommended me to go to MGU in Russia, the Moscow State University. But then this was also irrelevant for me. So then at the end, I decided to select the Belarusian State University in Minsk. So I went to Minsk, Belarus, a country I never heard about previously, and started a new page of my life.
Belarus, our hero obtained a higher education. Then he established several successful companies, which exist to the present day. Later, Zhang Xiaotian continued his education in Estonia, where he founded a major consulting firm as well. Upon graduation, our hero was being invited as a teacher to various universities all over the world. At that time, he took hundreds of flights a year to different countries and taught in many universities around the world. You have been traveling and working in many countries of the world. So how did it happen so that you're now working and living here in Kazakhstan?
Well, that's really an interesting story. So I was finishing my contract in Denmark, at the University of Southern Denmark, and I was thinking what I would like to do next step. And I was just clicking on my laptop, and I realized there's one email that offering different kind of academic positions. And I saw one advertisement from Kazakhstan. One university is looking for a rector, and I was quite surprised. I mean, never heard about these kind of things, but then I took a look at it, and I saw the University of International Business. I even didn't know that this university exists. But then I start to, dig into it, and I realized this is a program that a ministry provides to invite foreign experts to work in the higher education sector in Kazakhstan and to develop the education here. So I was quite amazed. Therefore, I decided to apply, and they replied me, and we went through this interview process and assessment process, and then I came here. So, which is a good decision, I think.
And what were your first impressions when you arrived here?
I was quite positively surprised. In fact, as soon as I arrived here, it's kind of, I was attracted by this kind of atmosphere. It's a very friendly city, to be honest. And it's so unique because you got mountains, very beautiful mountains around the city. And the city is built on like a hill. And I started walking around a lot of parks, a lot of nice architecture, and most important is the people, always the people. People are very friendly, in fact. When you have any problem, any question, they will try to help you. Even though when they don't understand what they're talking about they try to figure out how they can help you. So also the city is full of young people. That's my kind of impression. Young people are everywhere, and they're very gifted and very nice. And so I like the city very much.
Is it difficult to be a foreigner here in Kazakhstan?
Well, it's not difficult to be a foreigner in Kazakhstan. I think it's good to be a foreigner in Kazakhstan, actually, because you can really share the culture with them, you can share your story with them, you can share your knowledge with them. I have had a very good experience, in fact.
What do you think about our traditional cuisine?
The traditional cuisine, to be honest, is very heavy. As you can see, I'm gaining weight here. That's a good sign. Food is very tasty. Of course, I was quite surprised that people eat a lot of horse meat. I mean, almost in every restaurant you can order horse meat, horse steak, and they taste very good, actually. I mean, first time I tried a horse meat was in San Diego, in Chile, and this was like second time. I think people are very kind. I was invited to a few kind of family events or kind of personal events. The table are filled with food. I was surprised that we only have 8 people sitting there, and you have food for maybe 50 people. And people just keep eating, talking, drinking, and I like this atmosphere because you kind of feel like we're part of the big family.
And what is your current position here at the university?
Currently, I'm working as a Vice Rector for Science and Research at the University of International Business here. So my job is to actually in charge of all scientific and research-related activities of the university, including doctoral education, the curriculum, the University Research Council, Academic Council, and also a bit of internationalization aspect. Now we are trying to cooperate with leading universities in Europe and in Asia in terms of forming our research portfolios and develop our research competencies and establish new academic journals, research communities, organizing conferences, seminars, workshops, doctoral courses, many things. So that is my current responsibility here.
You first arrived here 1 year ago. So what has changed during this year in this university?
As I have been working here almost a year, and even in this short period of 1 year, I have already experienced a kind of big change. happen at the university. Particularly, we try to improve the teaching quality, and also we get accreditation from the Austria agency, and we're getting more accreditation, international accreditations, to ensure that the quality and we provide, the education quality we provide is relevant. The process of we conducting work and the way we conduct management is also standardized and transparent. What is more important that the university is getting more and more international. This is not only in terms of at the student level. Of course, we have a lot of exchange programs with leading universities in Europe and the US and in China, but at the staff level and at the management level, we are also trying to get internationalized. That means that our staff we create a mobility grant for our staffs to go abroad to attend international conferences, workshops, and to have the research visits in different organizations, as well as we're sending our senior management staffs go to visit foreign universities and to learn from their experience, to collaborate, to build networks.
In his spare time, our hero cooks and plays basketball with pleasure. Also, he quite often walks around the city and tries to visit different corners of Almaty, as well as outside, such as Mideo, Lake Kaindi, and many others. You are living here and working here for almost a year. So what are your thoughts on our country and our nation?
I love Kazakhstan. It's a great country and a great place to be. Kazakhstan is a great emerging economy. There's full of opportunities here. This is a place that has growth, and this is a place that has future. So it's a great choice to come here. A lot of things can be done here, can be developed, can be improved, can work together with the local people. So I invite a lot of people to come here to add their contributions. But personally speaking, I like the Almaty very much. It's a very friendly city. I feel like home here. Beautiful city with mountains and nice people. And I have to say that what matters most is people. I really like people here, working with them and communicating with them. And people are very kind, very helpful. And I believe that they are going to be the backbone of this country, the younger generations, gifted, talented people. So I have a great hope for this nation.
We are limited by time, so one of the questions that I want to ask is, what are your future plans?
So my recent plans in the future is to continue to develop the science and research competences of the university, and if it's possible, I would like to extend it to the national wide. So I want to create a research community, which is named as Tianshan Academy, to unite all the scholars in economics, management, international business, and finance research together, to work together, to do research together, to put in resources together, and work closely with leading and well-known foreign scholars in order to produce a better end results. In addition, I want to utilize all the doctoral education in Kazakhstan, so that instead of educating PhD students separately, we can put them together and put in the best teaching power together, put the best brain power together, put all the international links and networks we have together to educate them for the, for the education system of the Kazakhstan. So this would be the two big projects I'm going to do in the near future. And in the long run, I think that let's see what doors open. No matter where I go, I always will remember Kazakhstan, and I always will add my contribution to here as I can. And I always remember Kazakhstan as a second home and also, a destination for the collaborations.
Scientific research work is the basic structure of any educational establishment. Zhang Xiaotian has been working in Kazakhstan for a year only. However, even in this short period, he has accomplished a great deal for the education system of our country. Research work that he is working on will give rise to new directions in education and will improve it in the future.